Today I'm going to talk about how you can use opiates to prevent cancer. And they're probably not the kind of opiates that you're thinking about, but one little caveat to this is in order for this to be effective, you've got to be managing chronic stress. Because when you're stressed, that creates inflammation. Also, when you're stressed, your immune system doesn't work so well. So the things I'm going to be talking about in this video are ways for you to reduce inflammation, to improve immunity, but you got to help your body out by reducing these other sources of inflammation and turning off your immune system, which is chronic stress. And if chronic stress is an issue for you, if that's a challenge, I just made a video that teaches you a very simple practice to help you just dissolve away stress. So if you don't have anything that effective that you're doing right now to help you with stress, check out the video. There might be a link somewhere on the screen, but I'll put one at the end of this video so you can click on it after this video and watch that and learn this really amazing practice. So back to using opiates to prevent cancer. Now the opiate I'm talking about is beta endorphins, and it's an opiate that your body makes, and you're actually designed to be addicted to this opiate. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But the way your body releases this opiate is from acute stress. So acute stress is short-term stress versus chronic stress, which is ongoing. So acute stress can be things like exercise. And you've probably heard of runner's high, where people get addicted to exercise because they get this really good feeling. And I remember when I used to do CrossFit, during the workouts, it was pure hell. But once you made it through the workout, A, you got a good confidence boost because you made it through. But B, I remember just getting this flush of this very good feeling in my body. And that was a release of beta endorphins. I'm actually breathing a little heavy because I just got done working out. So I've got some beta endorphins going in me right now. But also when a woman gives birth to a child, that's another acute stressor, though it may feel like it's lasting a very long time for a woman giving birth. But when a woman gives birth, her body releases beta endorphins and other compounds to help deal with the pain. If you get an injury, your body releases beta endorphins to help deal with the pain. And this is a short-term thing. I've broken 5 bones. And when you break a bone, your body goes into shock. So it releases adrenaline, but it also releases beta endorphins. And you don't feel the pain for about an hour or so. And once that wears off, you feel the pain full bore. But there are different things you can do to help your body release beta endorphins. And if intense exercise and childbirth aren't your thing, you can do other things like meditation, yoga, acupuncture. And these things also help to release beta endorphins. And beta endorphins are one of the body's natural healers. And they do all sorts of things in addition to increasing your tolerance for pain. Some of the other things they do is they modulate your immune system. So they actually improve your immune function. They have lots of antiviral properties. So your body releases different macrophages and different cytokines that are antiviral. So if you're concerned about getting some kind of virus, then the things I'm sharing in this video are going to be very helpful for you to do because they're going to increase your body's ability to fight viruses. So increased tolerance for pain, increased ability to fight viruses. They activate a bunch of macrophages. So your body has 2 different kinds of macrophages. There are inflammatory. So when there's a pathogen, if there's cancer or something, these inflammatory macrophages go in, and they're basically like the hit squad. They go in and take out these pathogens that you don't want in your body. And then when your immune system is working properly, there's a cleanup crew, which is anti-inflammatory macrophages that go in and they clean up the mess, and they essentially turn off the inflammation. So beta endorphins help to increase these anti-inflammatory macrophages. They activate a gene called p53, which is basically, it's an anti-tumor gene. So if you have cancer, a lot of people with cancer, this p53 is inactivated. So you don't have one of your best defenses against cancer. These beta endorphins help to activate this p53 gene. Is there anything else? Those are the main things. They also help to bring your body's stress axis into homeostasis. So homeostasis is proper balance. When your body is working optimally, everything is in homeostasis. So all these different processes, your body's ability to make energy, release hormones, all these different things, when they're in homeostasis, everything is working as it should be. When you're out of homeostasis, when you have an imbalance, that's when you get symptoms. When that goes on for too long, that's when you get disease. So there is a paper, and I'll share it here. I'll share links to these different research papers in the description box below as well. So if you're a geek and you want to do the research and just be like, hey, is this stuff legit? You can read the published research that shows they've done different studies on these different things. They've studied rats, and they've showed that injecting rats with beta endorphins reverses prostate cancer and breast cancer. So if you don't know, prostate cancer is the #1 cancer in men. Breast cancer is the #1 and most prevalent cancer in women. Lung cancer is somewhere up around the top, but I think it's #3. But prostate cancer is much less deadly than breast cancer. But both are bad. Nobody wants to get cancer. This is something that you can do to help reduce your risk for cancer. So doing these different things to help your body release beta endorphins. So that's part of it, the ability to release the beta endorphins. The other part is having a good stockpile of beta endorphins, so when your body needs them, you have plenty of them. So the way you increase your stockpile of beta endorphins is by getting more morning sunlight. And there's so many different benefits to morning sunlight. I'll do another video on some of the other benefits, but the purpose of this video is to teach you about this opiate that your body makes called beta endorphins. So if you've seen my other videos before, if you've been to my website, one of the things I'm always talking about, one of the most important things that you want to be doing on a daily basis is watching the sunrise. And the reason for that is because when you watch the sunrise, that syncs your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm controls your body's growth. So when you need to make new cells, that requires growth. When you need to make hormones, when you need to regenerate bone, that's a function of growth. That's controlled by your circadian rhythm. It controls metabolism. Metabolism is converting food into energy. If you want to stay healthy, you need an abundance of energy. When you get symptoms, when you're dragging, when you get sick, that is a deficit in energy. So when your circadian rhythm's off, your body's not making enough energy. So if you want to know how to get more energy, one of the first things you want to do is fix your circadian rhythm. And your circadian rhythm also controls your body's release and production of hormones. So things like cortisol in the morning to wake you up. Things like testosterone so you can pack on some muscles. And if you're a man, so you can get an erection and have drive and motivation. Women need testosterone too. Insulin, leptin, all these hormones are very important for you to feel good. Thyroid hormones. If you have bad skin, if you're a woman and you're losing your hair, if you have weight that you can't burn off, lots of times that's due to an imbalance or low levels of thyroid hormone. So you need all these hormones, you need all these things working optimally. That's why you want to watch the sunrise. The next thing you want to do is you want to be getting AM sunlight. And the reason is because your body is optimized to make these different hormones that keep you vital, that keep you healthy, that keep you optimal in the morning, because there's the perfect mix of infrared light. So about 42% of sunlight is infrared light. Red light, you can see red light. Blue light, you can see blue light, and then UV light. So when these frequencies of light in the perfect blend that you get from the sun, when they go in your eye, when they hit your skin, they make this thing called POMC, pro-opiomelanocortin. So all you need to remember is POMC, but POMC is a precursor for a whole bunch of different things that your body uses to make optimal. One of those things is alpha MSH, alpha melanostimulating hormone. What that does is that releases melanin, and that's when you get a nice suntan from melanin. The more melanin you have, the darker your skin. And I remember when I was dealing with Lyme disease, I was getting literally getting blood work once a week. They're constantly testing me for everything. But one of the things they looked at was my alpha MSH. And when you are dealing with an autoimmune disease, your body has very low levels of alpha MSH. So they were hoping that from all the stuff they were doing to me that my alpha MSH would go up. By the way, when I was being treated for Lyme, it never did go up. A lot of my levels got worse and worse because they were just throwing antibiotics at it and they weren't treating the underlying cause, which was poor immunity, which antibiotics kill, and also a deficit in energy. That's how I healed myself. I figured out on my own and through people like Dr. Jack Cruz how to make more energy. That's how I got better. Also how to modulate my immune system. But I've covered that in other videos. But back to what I was talking about, POMC makes alpha MSH. It also makes beta endorphins. So by getting this morning sunlight, you're helping your body to make more beta endorphins. And there's a research paper that shows that we are addicted to UV light. And there's a reason for that. Opiates are very addictive, and they're one of the biggest killers today. Pain doesn't kill a whole lot of people. You can survive a very, very long time in pain. It's not comfortable, but you can survive. But painkillers kill tons of people. Pre-pandemic, it was about 150 people a day. Since the pandemic hit, it's more than 200 people a day that are dying from opiates, things like Oxycontin, Vicodin. I don't know all the big opiates today. I know Oxycontin is a big one, and there's other ones. They keep on relabeling these so companies don't do generics. They'll come up with a new brand so they can still charge a lot of money for it. Just another scam from Big Pharma. But anyway, opiate addiction is a very big deal. And one of the drivers for these opiates is because people aren't getting enough sunlight. If people got more sunlight, guess what? You would make your own internal opiate. You would have a higher tolerance for pain. Some of the other things that POMC make are endocannabinoids. What else is a huge addiction today? Marijuana. What is a huge supplement that's just exploded? CBD. Because people are taking an exogenous source because they're not making their own endogenous source. They're not making their own endocannabinoids from POMC because they're not getting enough sun. So if you want an au natural way to do this, get out and get morning sun. How do you know the ideal time to get morning sun? Very simple hack. These beads here, you can see they're white, they're clear right now. They're activated by UV light. So I'm inside right now, there's not a whole lot of UV light, but this is a UVA light flashlight. Guess what happens when I shine this flashlight on these beads? Turn purple. So these are like $5 from Amazon. I'll put a link, but you want to be outside with these beads, and when these beads start to turn purple, you know when UVA light is entering the atmosphere. And you can use that UVA light that you're addicted to get to make more POMC, so you can make more alpha MSH, so you can get a better tan, so you can make more beta endorphins, more endocannabinoids. You're also going to make more melatonin, and that melatonin, your brain's going to store it, and then at night, in the absence of light, it's going to release that melatonin. You're going to get in a nice, deep, restorative sleep. So you don't wake up feeling groggy. You wake up, you feel well rested, ready to take on and attack your day. You're also going to make more serotonin. So you need serotonin to feel happy. You're going to make more dopamine. Dopamine gives you that drive, that motivation, the ability to think well, to see patterns. You're going to make more T3, the very important thyroid hormone. So all these different things. And we know from research, a lot of people that had COVID had very low T3 levels. T3 increases your body's ability to fight viruses. So it's very interesting when you learn and when you understand how the body works, you can use these things to keep the body healthy for a much longer time, avoid big pharma, avoid a chronic disease, and it's very simple. All you need to do is reconnect with nature. Now, if you do read that research paper, the one that says that we are addicted to UV light, you might notice in the research paper that they say UV light is a carcinogen. And then at the end of the paper, they say this might explain the increase in skin cancer rates, which some of these research papers just really boggle my mind when you read them and you realize kind of the lack of understanding of nature and how things work in these so-called scientists. So these scientists were brilliant enough to understand that the body makes beta endorphins, which is addictive. It's the only opiate that doesn't cause you to be addicted to other opiates, but you are meant to be addicted to this opiate that you make. They were able to figure out through research in rats and taking away rats' ability to make beta endorphins, they're able to figure out that life is meant to be addicted to UV light. But they also think that UV light causes cancer. And if you get too much UV light from the sun, it does cause cancer. But one of the things that I want you to understand in these research papers is lots of times when they do studies on UV light, they do UV light in isolation. So this is UV light in isolation. This is UVA light. But you can get UVB light in isolation. But when you get UV light from the sun, is that isolated? No, because it's balanced with infrared light, which is anti-inflammatory, with red light, which is anti-inflammatory, with all the different colors of the rainbow. You can break down these individual spectrums, or the frequencies that you get from the sunlight, and you'll see all the different wavelengths that are in them, but you get them all together. And it's kind of like, if I could give you an analogy, if you eat an apple in season, that's a healthy thing. But if you were to extract all the sugar from the apple, and that's all you ate, would that still be a healthy thing? No, because you're isolating just one thing, the sugar from the apple. That's no longer healthy. And in these studies, they isolate UV light, which on its own, you don't have, it's not counterbalanced by red light, by the anti-inflammatory light. So if you do read this research paper and you say, hey, UV light's a carcinogen, which most of us have heard today, that paper's not telling you the full story. And also these idiot scientists that did the paper, for them to be so arrogant to not realize nature designed us in a very specific way. It designed us to be addicted to UV light for a reason, because it makes these wonderful compounds in our body. UVB light makes vitamin D, which is the #1 driver of your longevity. We have research showing that the lower your vitamin D, the higher your risk for all cause of mortality, including skin cancer. And the other thing is, skin cancer has been rising, but we've known, our people, if you go back historically, people were exposed to far more sunlight then than they are now, because most of us live in indoor existence because we have jobs that are indoors. If you go back 50, 60, 70 plus years, a lot of people worked outside in farms. They were getting a lot more light, and skin cancer rates were much lower. So I kind of went off on a little rant there. Sorry about that. But sometimes when I'm reading through these things, it's just like, come on, people. Anyway, so I hope you found this valuable. The bottom line is get out, get that morning light, that morning sunlight. You can do this year round because UVA light is present year round. You get these beads and you take them outside, they will be activated 365 days a year. In the winter, however, you can't get UVB light, which you use to make vitamin D. This time of year, UVB light is present, so you can make vitamin D, which is also very important. But really, the focus of today is on the value of UVA light, which is present earlier in the day. So make sure you're going outside, you're watching the sunrise. You're getting that UVA light, especially in that transition period when all of a sudden it becomes available. It's going to help your body make all these different things. Also, if you struggle with energy, if you want to make some very positive changes in your life so you have more energy, there's a link below. Maybe it'll pop up in this video somewhere, but there's a link to sign up for a 2-week course I just put together. It's about 7 different lessons, and over the course of this 2 weeks, if you follow everything, these lessons, you will double your energy or more. If you're just bursting with energy right now, then I'm not going to guarantee that. But if you struggle with your energy, if you're waking up and you're just groggy, or if you're going throughout your day, you feel like you've lost your edge and you're not as productive as you used to be, this is going to help you significantly increase your energy. So the lessons are anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes or so, and you're going to be working up to about 12 minutes of practices. I'm just going to introduce one thing at a time for you. And over the next 2 weeks, you're going to work up to 10, maybe 12 minutes of new practices in your life that are going to give you much more abundant energy, so you're more productive, you feel better, you're nicer to be around. Your kids, your significant other, your friends, they're going to like you better because you're going to be in a much better mood. And trust me, people are going to notice when you're in a better mood probably before you lose 10 or 15 pounds. Moods are much more noticeable than weight for a lot of people. But this is going to help you lose weight too if that's something that you struggle with. So check it out. Thanks for checking out this video. I appreciate your time. I know it's valuable. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, give it a share. If you have a comment, comment below. And I will see you real soon in another video.